to It's in the Cards. As you can see, all dressed and ready for next week. Christmas is a week from today. This will be my last show live for 2 weeks. I will be back the first, not the first, because that's Wednesday, January the 8th will be my first show live for the new year, 2014. So that makes this evening the last show of the year. And it is going out with a bang, let me tell you. The weather we've had this week, I lost track, but I think we're up to snow and ice storm number 5 in a week's time. I've fallen twice this week. Last Sunday, we had, I don't know if it was the first one or the second one, but it was the bigger one. And silly me wanted to, go to the end of the driveway, see how slippery it is if I can get out of the driveway and somehow maneuver down the hill. Found out how slippery it was when I fell and slammed my knee against the sidewalk. Thursday, Wednesday night, or whenever it was, lost track of the days, we had one of those ice storms in between the snowstorms, and during the snowstorms, one tiny patch of ice. I wasn't paying attention. I'm one that will walk like I'm 100 years old needing a walker on ice because I'm so petrified and I'm so anal and careful. The steps were cleared. I had looked, so I wasn't paying attention, and I'm going through the mail or whatever I was doing, going down the steps. There was one teeny tiny thing of ice at the edge. My foot caught it. It went straight out in front of me as my other foot, since it was half off the edge of the step like this, went straight down. My toes bent until my weight landed on that. I thought I broke all the toes straight across. Thankfully, it's only one toe, and the verdict's still out if it's fully broke or not, but something's messed up with it. But I am very grateful that that's all that happened. My knee from Sunday just ended up in massive pain because of the cold and the arthritis and all my knee issues that I have to begin with. So it's not even winter yet. And for winter, it's going up and reaching 60, 70 degrees sometime this weekend. So kind of fluky, goofy weather going on out there. But I have a fun show tonight, and I wanted to bring on my 2 favorite fun people to join me this evening. We always have a blast when we're together. I want to bring them both on. They host shows and co-host a show here on Penn, and they switched some of their scheduling around, so I'll let them tell it to you, because I haven't figured out the new schedule yet and learned it. I have Anita from Aphrodite's Kitchen with me, and I have Title with me from Pagan Propensities. And hey everybody.
Hey.
Hey, how are you?
We're good. How are you?
Ho.
Ho, 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 I love your hat. And
Oh, this
Anita.
whole thing, I just threw it on at the last minute.
And
Never mind your muffins.
And you'll hear jingling because the jingle bells are actually the buttons on my cardigan. So when you hear the jingling in the background slightly, it's my sweater.
Every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings.
There you go. See that?
I'm his favorite elf today.
You're always the favorite. We love you, Nita. So, what's the weather been like for you two?
Oh, we had snow today, and yesterday, and 2 days ago, and a couple of days before that.
Are you hiding in my space and didn't tell me Are you here visiting?
Well, no. This is up in Maine, and it's just this is normal for Maine.
Yes, it is.
Actually.
Ours
So-
is payback. And you know what they say about payback. For definitely the last 2 winters, maybe 3, we've had it pretty decent. And just cold, a small snow thing here and there. Well, here it is, and we've had 5 since I was on last week. So, not liking it. The snow would be nice, but it's the ice that you get in between, and my backyard. It just turned like this thick of ice. The dog goes out there. I'm thinking, oh my God, she's, gonna break a leg because everywhere she's going, she's sliding. And of course, has to try to walk the entire yard to try to find a spot. Couldn't get it shoveled. When I finally got it shoveled, she doesn't use that shoveled section anyway. It's like, just like a child.
Well, did you ask her first?
I did. I even gave her a lecture. And she was at the door watching me shovel. And she just, what else is there? Nobody around this house listens to me. So what? The dog might as well not either. So, what have the 2 of you been up to? I know one of your shows got moved around.
Yes, the Alchemical Artisans Hour got moved to Tuesday evenings at 10 p.m. Eastern. So, because the Fridays at midnight were making a terribly long day for Tidal, that's his longest day at work. So,
Yeah.
Can't have that.
Well, no, but I don't do changes good. If it's not the time zones messing me up, it's something else. And I was talking to Anita yesterday, and she said, your show's tonight. I thought, oh my gosh, it is.
yeah, so, it takes a while to get used to it. We've been on for a year now, and for that entire time, we've had that 12 midnight time slot. I wrote that a whole bit of, business about meet us on the bridge between today and tomorrow.
Yeah, I love that.
Now they can meet us on the bridge between 9 and 10 o'clock. Misha, I made my letter to Santa. It was 32 pages long. I told him I was a perfect angel. And I told him I wanted a new house, a new car, new clothes, lots of tarot decks. Well, anyway, I did write large because he's old. So my list was 38 pages long. And at the end I put, and peace on earth, goodwill to men, and something for poor people. Because I didn't want to look greedy.
You're a trip. I love you.
Well, see, I love Charlie Brown's sister, Sally, She says if it's too much trouble, just send cash. 10s or 20s are good.
There you go.
Yes, I will accept cash.
Yes, always cash.
Or pastry,
So much
cookies.
easier.
Shrimp rings.
What's on your Christmas list this year, Misha?
I don't do a Christmas list.
Why?
I don't know. Every now and when I'm out periodically, together with my mother, and I see something, oh, that looks cute, she'll pick it up with me knowing, or go back without me knowing and get it. But I don't. I make sure, I got too much to do.
Mm-hmm.
Too much to do. And with the snowstorms, everybody got delayed with everything. The stores around here are having fits. They announced today a whole slew of them are not closing at all until Christmas Eve at 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night, because they're trying to make up for all these snowstorms and ice storms. But I'm not really a last minute shopper. My problem is, everything else that has to wait till the last minute.
I got a present early.
Did you? What'd you get?
And it's not mirror image.
The
Oh,
Witch's Tarot, you got
It's
that?
amazing. It
I
is so
jealous.
awesome. I had to wait. It's on an app too. It's on an app. Available on iTunes or at the Google Play Store.
I don't use that stuff. I don't. My cell phone's a flip phone.
You got rid of the cans and the strings?
I did. I
Welcome to the 21st century.
Thank you,
It
sir.
looks good on you.
I did get a gift myself, actually.
What'd you get?
From U.S. Games. I love their treasure box type packaging. That's what I called it. And it is the Tree of Life Oracle. They also sent me, this is their latest release, the Oracle deck. Here's some of the random cards. Each of them in the book has the short meanings, and then they have about 1.5 to 2 pages of the write-up. But she also states, you know, each card might have its own special meaning for you to incorporate. So the oracles, again, for those still not quite sure the difference, it's more of like a personal message. You know, what you might need to know right now. People use it to just calm their thoughts, their mind, to give them focus. And you can use these, what a nest might mean to you. Nest, to most people, you think of baby. Nesting. You do the nesting towards the end of the pregnancy and things like that. But that's actually gifts is the one short meaning. And then it's abundance, treasure, new life, which would be the baby. Patience, instincts, threat to life, predatory acts, and plundering is the short list that they give. For
I would think that those later meanings could be for reversal or aspected by a darker card.
Right, right.
What is the name of this oracle?
Tree of Life. And it's put out by U.S. Games. It's their latest release. I
love U.S. Games. I buy all my stuff from them.
I love them. Yeah. Their packaging, the cards, they're always bigger. I've shown it in the past, the size difference. They also sent me, but unfortunately, I thought when I left the show last week, I thought by the following day I would have the package of goodies. We had the snowstorm. So it did not arrive, and I didn't get it till, I think, Saturday. And with the one snowstorm after another, trying to keep on top of the ice, possibly breaking my toe, I did not have time to do anything more than open this and look at it. So it's a brief thing, just share with you two. And then the second thing they sent me, I didn't even have a chance to open because it was too hard driving around, getting anywhere for me to get a second person with me, but they sent me a board game.
What's it called?
I knew you were going to ask that, and I left it upstairs. You two chat. I will run up and get it so that you can at least see it.
That, or we could just tune in next week. I forgot my sunglasses too. I've gone on Hollywood for the Christmas show, and I forgot my Raina George sunglasses.
No, but there's not going to be a tarot by Misha next week because she's taking off 2 weeks. Don't you remember?
I know, that was my clever way to make a segue to reiterate that point.
You just knew instinctively that I would jump in.
I did.
Yeah, Yeah, you gotta lower your camera to get to the there you go.
I'm back. Hello.
Hello.
It is the game of insight. This is what it looks like.
Ooh.
So as you can see, have it wrapped. I will unwrap it here. And I just had an idea. See what you two think of this. In January, when we're all free, maybe we can do something, figure out how to, like, the three of us play this a little bit to demonstrate.
Sure.
Fun.
On the air live. I'd have to, be in charge of moving the pieces and taking maybe the cards or whatever, and doing all of that. But maybe we could figure out, once it's seen what exactly it is and how it's done, maybe we can do a short sample of it in January live here on the show.
That would be very cool.
It is for 2 to 6 players, ages 14 and up. It says on the box, an interactive way to know yourself and create the life you want.
Ooh.
The game of insight board game, played with friends and family, asks you to take on the role of the explorer as you move through your life path on the board. The objects to resolve any issues of each player's choosing. Discover new purpose in your life, gain clarity in the relationships, receive guidance to manage your day-to-day obstacles, and learn transformative tools in a dynamic group experience for 2 to 6 players. Through heartfelt interaction and amazing feedback from the game cards collected on your individual map of insight, each player makes positive life changes on the mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical levels. Enjoy the unique gameplay and be amazed at the awareness it brings. So, and if this can't be done, wow, it's the treasure box packaging, just like their decks.
Oh,
That's
nice.
Well, seeing this for the first time with me, here is the board.
Oh my goodness, it looks like Candyland.
Does.
And it folds up really small. What else is in here? Okay, there's a pad issue. I would like to receive insight on blank. You fill it in, I guess. An intention. It is my intention to blank. This would be another tablet that you use, which I could scan one and send it to you for the
Sure.
game to be able to do this.
Yes.
This is called the Insight Review. Begin by keeping your cards in their columns, text facing you on your map of insights. The pieces have to be taken apart and stuff, maybe? I don't know. Okay, here is your map of insight. Mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, and the bottom life path. So there's 6 of those for if you have 6 players. We have dice and the moving markers, which look like those the beads that you put on the bottom of pots for plants. The game instruction booklet.
Ooh.
And all the little cards to punch out and separate and shuffle. And they're color-coded, so it looks like they're going to be color-coded to go with the colors on the map of insight.
Oh, how neat.
I randomly looking at it. This one's called Patterns. Each player rolls the die. The lowest roller gets this card. And then it says you are repeating a pattern unconsciously.
Interesting.
And then it says in the fine print, this insight is in regards to your issue stated at the beginning of the game. Here's one called Child, the Artist. You are willing to have fun, play, and dare without caring, like a child would. So this will be interesting. If it's something we can't do live, I can get together. Gina's out there. Hey, Gina, you can be the guinea pig before we go on air so you and I can figure out how the heck to properly play it so that we're not wasting time when we do that show.
Well, I'll make a deal with you. I'll make a deal.
Yeah.
I got a new product from Schiffer called the Luminara Book.
Ooh.
And it's supposed to help you develop your intuition further, like, have more insight when you look at a scene or a picture or a situation. And it has a set of these, some look like paintings, some look like drawings. They look like illustrations of various kinds. And there's a standardized form that you fill out, basically, or you ask yourself these questions. So I tell you what, I'll do a show with you and we'll play your new game. And you do a show with me and we'll play with the Luminara workbook.
Oh, okay, there you go. So there's a preview to look forward to for next year. There you go.
Deal?
Deal. And if we get enough things going with this, we can, like, every once in a while, I can do, like, a game night.
Yeah, I'm liking that.
Idea.
Yeah.
And the three of us can do a game night.
That sounds like fun.
I would love that.
Yeah, that would be really cool. This looks like it's going to have to be played around with, though. Not something for me to sit here, going through the instruction booklet while we're on the air. So, title.
Yes.
Intensities. What do you have coming up for the new year?
I don't know. We are in some flux and planning and regrouping, and so we're just kind of doing some figuring.
You're doing a lot of new stuff.
I am. You recorded an episode this week with me of Coffee House on Magic Boulevard, and that's going to air. It's going to start airing in January, and some really neat people have been on there. Looking forward to that, and started working for doing readings for another company, and I'm looking forward to that. It seems promising. They seem very nice. And I saw your end of the year tape, that one that got leaked, the tape with the booty dance and stuff. You can bust a move. I'm scared of you.
I know, especially after breaking a toe.
I know. That's real talent to bust a move like that with broken limbs. I mean, you got it. I'm scared of you.
And our wonderful, lovely Robin Marie captured that and released it. And for those that do not know what we're talking about, and you're on or any of our Facebook pages, you can find it there. And if you're not on any of our Facebook pages, well then why not? You're missing out and you need to go get the scoop so you know what this whole thing was about. See, there you go.
There you go.
I nearly died when I saw the one, Santa's Twerk Shop. Oh dear.
I kept thinking, I could do that. But I made it into the next one.
You did the next one, yeah.
Well,
So what are you doing for the holidays?
I do everything Christmas Eve and Christmas, so I'm very busy from here on in. With the cooking and straightening up, and tomorrow they're turning off my water all day. So that's going to be a day to not be home for the most part. And hoping this ice goes away because having fallen twice, not like an ice to begin with, and then fallen, I've got in my head everybody falling and injuring, and so it's just like the sooner it goes away, the happier and more relaxed I will be.
I love it. Well, I think this time of year, go ahead.
I said, how about you?
Oh, I was just going to say, we're doing things with family this year, but I always like to remember people, because a lot of people have a really hard time this year. They think of loved ones or situations or circumstances have changed. What my mother always used to do, we always would always go pick a name from the tree at the mall. And she always called it like orphan Christmas, but not in a demeaning way. People that she knew that lived alone or didn't have family, she'd invite them all to her house for the holiday, and she'd go to the dollar store, and we had a code. You can't tell nobody. I'm only telling you guys, my closest friends, and everybody on the interweb. We put alphabet letters for lady presents and numbers for men presents. So if anybody showed up unsuspecting, somebody was going to get something, even if it was just a little thing of powder. And she always taught that no matter how little you have, you always have something to share. And a tradition at my house, when we put the Christmas tree up, the first ornament that we put up, we each get a Christmas wish, but it can't be for yourself. It's got to be for somebody else, and you can't tell anybody what it is till the next year. And I think it's a great opportunity to look out for people that might need a little bit of extra love and comfort and understanding this time of year.
That is really, really neat.
That's lovely.
The most that I get around here for things to do is the Toys for Toppin' or the tree with, the names and what people are wanting.
Sure, that counts.
That. Anita, what's new with you and what are you going to be up to? I love your jewelry you've been busy making. It's absolutely gorgeous. And for that, again, you need to look up on Facebook and you can see the lovely things she's making.
Yeah, look up Spiral Logic. That's the name of my jewelry and artwork not website, Facebook page, actually. And you can message me on Facebook once again if you see something that strikes your fancy. But at this point, this was the last day that I could realistically mail anything and have it guaranteed to arrive by, well, not really guaranteed, but likely to arrive before Christmas or in time for Christmas. At this point, it will almost surely, unless you have it overnighted or something like that, it will almost surely arrive after Christmas unless some kind of miracle occurs. I use first class U.S. Postal Service standard. So, but you can certainly have it overnighted if you are willing to foot the bill for that. But I'm planning on cooking something Italian, watching movies, and immersing myself in escapist fiction. And shortly on the Sunday before that, I'm going to be attending a Christmas party that is being held by my first friend that I made when I came here to Maine, and her family. And I will probably be giving several Lenormand oracle readings to the people that are at the party. So.
Okay. Very cool.
I had a brainstorm, Misha.
You did? I love your brainstorms. What is it?
Well, So I was thinking, I was looking at my Christmas list, and I got my little thing. The only thing left on my wish list is maybe I want one of them little essential oil things of like maybe eucalyptus or patchouli a little bit. I don't normally like that so much, but I just feel drawn to it lately. But, I thought I could make gift certificates and do readings for my family and friends for Christmas. And I thought, well, they know it's just me. They'd expect it for free anyway. That wouldn't mean much. And I thought, but you know what? If we got together with other readers and say, listen, I'll swap you 3 readings for 3 readings, and you give yours to your people, and I'll give yours to my people. And that way they'll be really impressed because they're coming from a faraway distance.
Yeah.
And then it's going to just look way better because, well, I see you every day. You already know what's in my cards. Yeah, but you don't know Misha. You don't know Anita.
That is very cool. Wow. I love your ideas.
That's a wonderful idea.
Well,
We will discuss that.
I think it's a good one.
Yes, I do.
What about New Year's resolutions? I'm not making them. I'm making New Year's intentions instead.
That's a good thought. Yeah.
Resolutions just never work out.
Well, I think that there's so much failure associated with the term. You know, if you call it something else, it's much more likely to be stuck to.
Play that little mental game with yourself. That's like going out one thing.
Yeah, basically, that's what it is.
You're right.
Well, I'm going to stop selling drugs. I'm going to quit spending all my money down at the stripper bar. And I'm not going to rob banks anymore. Did I say I'm going to quit running with hookers? I'm going to quit that too. I figure if you set the bar low, you don't get disappointed. I'm just saying. Oh, wait, that's Mary and, that's the other show on Monday. That's just saying.
Well, in that case, I promise not to hijack any airplanes.
There you go.
I promise not to run for president anytime soon, or for that matter, ever. I promise never to spend. I promise never to retire to Antarctica.
And I'm never going to play air guitar again.
Oh no, I can't promise that. I can't promise that. But I can promise never to retire to Antarctica because in some ways where I am is sort of like being there already anyhow.
Yes. Both of us is sweet.
Scry me a river. I live in the middle of East Jesus, Wisconsin. It's so freaking cold. I hate it. I mean, for God's sakes, I got to wear ear muffins in the house.
What is your fondest or funniest or most memorable? That stands out the most with the holidays for you, title. And then you, Anita. Give you time to think about it, and I'm putting Title on the spot since Title's so doing that to his guests.
Well, I know, but we're still in the family dinner hour, so I have to be tasteful. Let me see. Do you like to read?
Yes.
Yes, I do. You know, when I was 12 or 11, my aunt used to sell Avon, and it was the only time I ever cheated. I mean, okay, I don't think that shaking and sniffing, and I don't think that's cheating. But this one, I kind of real carefully, you know, and opened it, and it was an Avon thing, and it was so cool. But you know, we didn't get a whole lot of stuff because we just didn't have a lot back then in the dark ages before, you know, we had computers and smartphones. If we got a coloring book and maybe like the big thing of crayons with the 64 of them and the pencil sharpener like the cool kids had, we thought we were living high. And so come Christmas, I already saw these little soaps and I thought, well, that just sucks. I'm never doing that again. And I've never peeked since.
That'll teach you, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Anita, how about you, darling?
Well, let me see. I've had quite a few really memorable and odd Christmases. Really, really strange ones. But I'd say that the strangest Christmas I ever had was when I was in New Hampshire during college, and Christmas Eve, well, my roommates and I had planned to have an open house party with food and booze and just people basically coming and going all day long on Christmas Day. So these friends of mine and I went to the dance bar the night before, but we left early because we knew we were going to have to be home all day and we were going to be baking some of those last minute things like quiches. You know, the cookies we made in advance, and we had all the party supplies and everything, but, you know, there are those last minute things that really have to be put in the oven right before you start expecting people to come. And so we left early, and we were pursued by something that howled in the woods as we were walking home. And we tried desperately to hitch a ride with people, and they were driving by us like they couldn't even see us.
Really?
It was very scary indeed.
Yeah.
So I would say that that was the most memorable, though not the most pleasant Christmas memory. And the next day, we invited like 200 people, and about 6 people came, which was very weird because we were quite popular. About 6 people came, and out of those 6 people, we didn't know 3 of them.
Righty then.
2 British tourists came over that we had met at the bar the night before and just spontaneously said, oh, we're having an open house Christmas. So they were in hog heaven. They ate until they were ready to burst and then slept on the couch because they were too stuffed to move. They were father and son. The son was about 14. So they slept sort of head to toe on this big old couch we had.
The fact that they even showed up is odd.
Isn't that strange?
Yes, who does that?
You know my new intention?
Smashed. By the way, boy, in those days we weren't that strict, you know.
Yeah.
Go on.
I'm going to learn how to do spell check on my computer.
What was that title? I'm sorry.
I'm going to learn how to use spell check on my computer. A couple of weeks ago, I wrote this wonderful woman a lovely letter, and I ended up writing something really vulgar because I just kind of transposed the letter and I wasn't paying attention, and you can't say on the air what it is. So I thought, how bad could it be? So last week, I'm writing Jordan, who's going to be on the show. I said, I am so glad you're here. I am so stoned for tonight's show. And wait a minute, that ain't what I meant. I meant stoked. But it kind of takes over and tries to fix my mistakes, and it always fixes the wrong ones and makes them sound really bad. I wasn't stoned. I wasn't.
Well,
Yeah.
I probably, the spell check probably wouldn't have worked for that because stoned is a word. Well, it's not
Oh my God.
I was on the phone with someone last night. I'm not going to say who. I'm sure they'll catch the show later or listening now. I'm not going to embarrass them. I'm busy multitasking and, you know, on the phone with them. And she's talking out loud what she's going to type. And it was in relation to whatever deck they were using. I don't even remember the card they pulled, but it was one of the disc cards, like Knight of Discs. Well, instead of she's talking, she's telling me what and typing, and she looks back and she realized she spelled something else instead of disc. You can imagine what it is.
Well,
The anatomy part that we will not mention of the male origin. Well,
but now, Misha,
once she realized it, every time she pulled the pinnacle card, which that called the disc, out of her mouth came the other, the whole entire time. It was just like, okay, the two of them. And I'm like, don't we know enough of them? We have to add more. So we might have a, new idea for a tarot deck.
Well, we got a sporting goods store like that. Now think about it. You go shopping, it says groceries. If you want books, it says books. And then you see this, discs. And you think that's what's there. It's tents and all kinds of stupid camping stuff. Go figure. But in my defense, I lived in California, and nothing says Merry Christmas like a Santa stripper. Tasteful, though. Tasteful. Not, just saying.
I don't know, a large bearded man standing there in nothing but his tiara. Doesn't do it for me, I'm sorry.
No.
I'm just going to take a drink of water and not even mention anything about Jingle Bells. I just ain't going to do it. Look, they're with Jesus. What a year it's been, you guys. It's been a year. It's been an awesome year. It has.
What stands out for you guys for the year? Is it something show related? A special guest? Anything? Either of you? Don't speak up at once.
Misha, you got about 10 minutes.
Okay.
Oh.
So you want to do this quick? Cause I have something that I have to do. So you only have. I'm gonna rush you through it. Something that stands out for you for the year, whether it's an event or something related to your shows.
It looks like I'm going to San Diego soon.
Ooh.
For visit. And I've never been to San Diego before.
Neither have I. Very exciting. We all have neat stuff going on. Well, I want you two to stay here with me. 4 years ago or so, I had a radio show, not with the webcam or anything like we do here at Penn. And I had written my own rendition of The Night Before Christmas. And I did another rendition of that for this evening. So I needed enough time to do this before closing out for 2013. So here it is. 'Twas the week before Christmas when all through the house nothing was stirring, not even a card. The only thing heard is Misha on pen, and that's thanks to Eric for doing his thing. The children are nestled, all snug in their beds, in visions of tarot decks dance in their heads. As you all listen to the shows here on Penn, I shuffle my cards for what the new year beholds. When all of a sudden, the hour is gone. There's still so much to say, but time has run out. In 2 weeks, when midnight strikes, a new year will begin. With it will come all the hosts here at Penn. This past week was filled with snow and ice storms, 5 in total, and it's only fall. The temperatures are rising the next couple days, just in time for winter to begin. The shopping got delayed, so I know how I'll fill my next few days. More rapid than eagles, I will get it all done, and hope not to fall on the ice yet again. O devil, O tower, O high priestess too, you all knew the troubles to come. When the cards that I pulled had no star or the sun, that's when I knew all of this too. As the parking gets scarce and the crowds are insane, the lines never end and I swear and complain. With the cart full of gifts and everything else, fighting the crowd is wearing me out. The pushing and shoving of each person's cart made me pull out my keys and go to the car. 'Cause I remembered at last the stores will stay open. They are not going to close. Late in the night is when I will go. I'm run down and I'm beat, and the tree is still not complete. Garland and lights will light up the night. Add the balls and the tinsel, now the tree is complete. Cookies are baked, now everything's done. My show won't be live for the next 2 weeks, but I will be around with my decks abound to help with your problems, whatever they are. Just visit my site, tarabymisha.com, to purchase a reading and make contact with me. I will be available for appointments. Just give me a ring. When I return live, it will be 2014. I will be back with guests and for readings as well. All thanks to Eric and Kim for all that they do. And you heard me exclaim as I went off the air, Merry Christmas to all, and to all a Happy New Year. And thank you to the two of you for joining me this evening and kicking out 2013 and bringing in 2014.
There you go. Thanks for having us.
Some great new stuff for next year's shows, game nights, and reading exchanges, and a whole slew of other things that we're going to be doing. And we want to let everybody know, and I did this last year, I actually had something I read last year. I don't have it, and I don't want to repeat the same thing fully from, a repetitive show. But it was a poem that had been written when I was in high school. I don't know if Gina remembers it or not. Our brother's school, somebody was in a car accident, drinking and driving and speeding. And they did, somebody in the school that were friends with him did this whole poem about running late, all excited. It was Friday, leaving school, gonna start the weekend, getting into the car, they're free, they can do as they please, they don't have to answer to anybody until Monday for school. And then the crash, hearing the noise, and all of a sudden I'm looking down on my body, what's going on with the glass and all that stuff. A touching story. I can't give credit to the girl that wrote it because it didn't have their name when it was passed around to us, and we all made copies of it. It's still on the original paper from all those years ago as well. So with that, I want to remind you all, you're going to be running around. A lot of you is jumping from house to house, friends to friends, visiting, grabbing a drink, and you're going to think, oh, okay, it's just a shot, or it's a glass of beer, or it's, a small amount of whatever, and you don't even realize you're doing it repeatedly at everywhere you're going. And we want you back next year, safe and sound, and we want everyone else back, because if nothing happens to you yourself, you will have to live with the results of what you did to somebody else and their family members. So with all of the holiday excitement and the new year, please be safe, keep your head, do not get behind the wheel of any vehicle if you've been drinking. Don't allow anyone to get behind their vehicle if you're hosting from your home and know they've been drinking. On that note, you can find all of us on Facebook. You can find Anita Perez on Facebook. You can find her jewelry there as well. You can find Tarot Title on Facebook. You can find me, Tarot by Misha on Facebook. And it's in the cards. Has a Facebook page as well to keep up with the shows and the archives and things like that. Your shows here at Penn have their pages as well. Pagan Propensities does, and
Aphrodite's picks the alchemical artisans lions because we make announcements for all the shows under that page. And also we have a website, alchemicalpartisans.net. Isn't that it, title?
It is indeed.
So, and you can get readings by me by looking me up under Luminaria Star or Jewelry at Spiral Logic, both on Facebook.
I just saw in the chat, how much time do we have, Eric?
You have about a minute.
A minute. Brian's in the chat room. I just spotted it. My apologies. You wanted to call in. You don't have time for that. You want to type something in the chat real quick that all three of us or either of us can answer quick in 1 minute's time, Brian? Please do. I'm sorry. I was concentrating on reading what I had written without getting distracted, so I had only that up in front of me so that I wouldn't start laughing or smirking. Okay, yes, you can Facebook me or any of the three of us. That's fine. I did not see it again. I'm sorry, Brian. Apologies. With that, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays for those that are politically correct and those that don't celebrate Christmas, but most people celebrate Christmas for a few things. And to the two of you as well, Anita and Title. And on that, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thanks for joining me. And I'll see you back here next year, January the 8th.
Blessed be.